I remember the first time I came to Dubai, I met you, and you got me on the radio the next day. Pearl FM, do you remember that?
I do remember that. Gosh, I remember like it was yesterday. It's the first time I've ever seen you drink coffee, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I remember I was expecting quite a serious interview about bullying or character development. And I think you introduced me as the Wibbly Wobbly Warrior Academy.
Wibbly Wobbly War Academy.
And here we are on the Wibbly Wobbly Warrior Academy podcast. Magic Phil, welcome to the Warrior Academy podcast.
It's great to be here. Well, although I'm a little nervous being on your territory, because you're normally on mine.
It's true.
And that's what I like.
Yeah, you're normally on the stage, calling me out, getting me to do things. Every time I seem to see you, seems to be at some sort of family event, a brunch, or... I remember the first time I came to Dubai, met you, and you got me on the radio the next day. Pearl FM, do you remember that?
I do remember that. Gosh, I remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever seen you drink coffee, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I remember I was expecting quite a serious interview about bullying or character development. And I think you introduced me as the Wibbly Wobbly Warrior Academy.
Wibbly Wobbly War Academy.
And here we are on the Wibbly Wobbly Warrior Academy podcast.
And do you know what? I remember that day when you came on because I was so proud of myself for actually kicking a big piece of wood, which when I got home, my wife says, it was only a bit of plastic.
Yeah, I mean...
She wasn't as proud of me.
I'm honest. You put me on the spot. And, you know, I was there ready to talk about all the serious stuff we talk about here. And you just wanted to make fun of me for an hour. And so I was like, right, okay. Pulled out a bag of my own tricks, didn't I?
Well, there we go. And now you've got me here to make fun of me for...
Here we go, for 3 hours. We've got a 3-hour podcast coming up.
3 hours?
Yeah. Yeah. You bet the rest of the day on, don't you?
Need another coffee.
We could get that. We could get coffee. So, the man behind Magic Phil. That's what I think we should call this.
No man behind me.
Not yet.
Not yet. What kind of place is it? What kind of academy is this?
Don't we teach yourself sense?
That's all right then. That's all good. I'm ready. I'm ready. If he's holding a plastic board, that's getting chopped in half straight away.
You've had practice now?
I have, yes.
Only on live radio. So we should actually stream this live, shouldn't we? Should we stream it live?
Let's do it.
We'll do it later. The last 5 minutes we'll stream live.
There we go.
So let's go back to the very beginning. Your life growing up.
It.
You can't remember it?
Yeah, it was
short, very short.
Dark
podcast.
in there. Oh, not that far back. All right, okay.
A little bit further forward.
All right then, okay.
Where'd you grow up?
Durham.
Durham, okay.
Yeah, County Durham.
Tell me about a life in Durham.
Life in Durham. There's not much. Do you know what? I love Durham, and I love going back to Durham, and it's such a historic place. It's got a lovely cathedral. It's got a lovely town, and I went to college there. That's where I did my performing arts. And yeah, it was just a lovely, lovely place.
Mm. So what got you into performing arts? What was it? Was it something you were passionate about very, very early on, or you became gradually interested in, or what was your first experience of that?
So all of my family are very hands-on people. You've got my dad's side that were electricians. My dad's a stonemason. And then you've got office people like accountants and all this kind of stuff. My mum's a carer. And then I come out going, show business!
It's totally different.
Totally.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
In Durham.
In Durham.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the middle of Durham. It was there's quite some characters in the middle of Durham.
Yeah, right.
But it was, I went to watch shows. I grew up watching pantomimes. I grew up watching my dad in like amateur dramatic shows, gang shows and all that.
Okay, so your dad was in performing arts already, or?
I mean, he's no Oscar performer, but he did shows and that then I was just hooked. And then I had a magician come to my birthday party. And since then, since he made that coin disappear behind my ear, still looking for it, and I was hooked, but I wasn't hooked on the wanting to entertain at that point. I was hooked on wanting to gain reaction, wanting to gain people's, impressment. Is that a word?
I don't know, we can use
Should
it.
we make it a word?
Let's just go with it, yeah.
Let's make it a word.
I'm sure we'll make it lots of words.
There we go. Yes. And that's the way I wanted to make people feel. The way I was feeling at my 6-year-old birthday party is then how I grew to love impressing people, and that's what really made me become Magic Phil.
Amazing. So then, 6 years old, that's when it kind of started in terms of you found something you're passionate about, you could link it back to that. It's only when you join up the dots, you can look back, you can join up the dots and see where things started, right? So then, at what point did you actually start studying it as a career, as a viable career to move forward with?
It's a tricky one, because back in the day, sound old now, back in the day we didn't really have such internet. Well, you did, but it shut off at 6 o'clock and you couldn't use the phone and internet at the same time. So it was all books, magazines. I went to the Magic Circle, which was my local Magic Circle, a bit like Hogwarts, really, just less hairier wizards, you know. Although my teacher, she was quite, anyway. she was wonderful, and she was really what guided me and was really my mentor for when I was such a young magician.
So how old were you then?
So I joined the Magic Circle when I was about 12.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it was the junior section. My dad would drive me to Newcastle every Saturday morning. I had to do an audition, and I remember the audition, and I got somebody to pick a card in the audience, and then they signed the cards, shuffled them up, and then the trick was I throw these cards at the window, and then their signed card appears on the other side of the window. But we were in this old church hall, and the windows were like plastic, and they were like wibbly wobbly, and I was like, right, this could either be a great trick, or it's just going to be the end of my audition, and the whole church just falls down. Anyway, I threw the cards at the window. The whole place wobbled, but it was great. The window didn't break. The church is still there.
And it worked out perfect.
And it worked out great. And
Amazing.
that there is what really helped me grow as a performer. I got some great advice from friends that I'm still with now. There's a lot of people that aren't in magic or entertainment, and we're just there as doing it for a hobby. But do you know what? Even if they're doing it as a hobby, it's all about just the reactions that you're playing for.
So at what point did you move to Dubai? So you were working in the UK for a long time, or?
Yeah, so I came to Dubai in... Gosh, I wish you sent me these questions before we came here. Could have revised. So I came to Dubai in a long time ago, 10 years ago. Yeah, I came up to my 10-year anniversary at my last theatre tour in December. And I came out for a 2-week holiday with the now wife, and never took that return flight home.
Wow.
My parents are still looking for me.
Yeah, I bet.
I hope they don't see this, then they'll know where I am then.
Well, we're actually brought them here today.
Have we? Do you imagine?
That's a magic trick.
That
would be good. So tell me about the kind of contrast you've experienced from working in the UK to working here. What's so different about it?
So I didn't really... The intensity of me working here and back-to-back gigs and doing my theatre tours and stuff, I didn't experience much in the UK, because that sort of growth happened when I came to Dubai. In the UK, I did the odd birthday party. I was doing holiday parks. I've done Butlins, done Haven, done all of the resorts.
But you didn't have that opportunity to do so much.
I didn't have that opportunity to do so much because I was so young, and I'm so young. But I never had that experience. I did a lot of amateur dramatics, a lot of other theatre bits and bobs, but nobody came to see me in the UK.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That sounds quite sad.
it was quite a bit sad.
Well, you did.
I don't even think I could sell out a theatre with 20 seats in the UK. I do remember I did a show at my local community centre, and it was about £1 a ticket to come watch me, which is like 4 dirhams. And
This very low turnover.
it was,
Wow.
couldn't even pay people to come see me in the UK. Whereas now it's,
Right. What's been your biggest event here?
So I hosted the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. I co-hosted presenting one of the awards and did a big slime segment with Jessie J. And that was, I think, about 8,000 at the Etihad Arena. That was just... So it's moments like that you just go in on stage and you just like... Wouldn't even fit this many people in there.
Yeah. Just trying to think, how... It must be so difficult to kind of manage an audience like that compared to a small audience, because are the jokes different? Is the entertainment different? Because you connect with them differently, right?
It's tricky when something like that, which you've got to look at it from many different angles. When I was working with Nickelodeon, you've got the producer in your ear, not literally in your ear, that would be weird performing with someone there stood in your ear. So you've got your producer in the ear, you're televised, so it's on TV, and you've got your live audience. You've got them telling you, okay, 1 minute to wrap up when you're halfway through a trick, knowing that there's 5 minutes left of this trick. And it's those time gaps of, that's when the pressure's different. To me, being on stage at brunch and, I don't really care what's on after me. I'm here, and if I'm having a good time and a good crowd, then I am staying on stage. Someone's going to have to pull me off.
Yeah, right. Just as vastly different experience, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's like whenever I'm at brunch, I think the brunch bear, or they do the dances after me and stuff. But I've been on a brunch before. I've been booked for 30 minutes and I've been on for an hour before.
Yeah.
And it's just like the bar people are trying to clear up. And it's just, you've been there before. You might not remember it, but, certainly don't drink coffee at brunch. A bit boring to talk to after a coffee.
Oh, there we go. You get what you got.
You could have brought this set up at brunch.
I never knew you were so serious, but there you are.
Oh, God. I drink special coffee before brunch as well. Don't tell anyone.
So,
We can cut that bit out.
when I think about your profession,
Think about me a lot?
not that often,
Oh, okay.
actually. At a brunch, I do.
Oh, okay.
If I go to a brunch and not there, I wonder where he is.
Well, that's good.
I wonder why he's still on. He's meant to finish off. But I think about your work and what you do. I think there's so much our students could actually learn from you in terms of doing something you're passionate about and the accessibility of doing that nowadays, but also handling pressure. And actually, I really believe that success in life is very much correlated to how much pressure you can actually handle. And, pressure nowadays is getting a bad rap. It's like we try to do everything in our lives to remove pressure. But I think that what we need to do is focus on coping mechanisms with that. So I'd love to know from you, as someone who has been on stage with thousands of people, right up from 10 people up to thousands of people, cultures all over the world coming to see you, producer in one ear, TV live. What sort of coping mechanisms do you have to handle pressure? What's your approach to that? How do you do that?
I think once you've done something so many times, it's like you get to know what angles to go down. You've got that, especially at brunch, you get hecklers. You try and heckle me, then I love a good heckle.
Oh, yeah.
And I love
I would never heckle you
No,
because,
and you should never.
my heckling self-defense isn't that good.
But if you do, I've had everything thrown at
Have
me.
you?
And yes, I may get in trouble because I don't know when to stop. But I've had that. I've had earpieces go out on me before, so it's just been having to take control and improvise. I've had everything you can imagine. But once you've done it and you've got such a tight show, then you're ready for anything to come at you. It's just having that professionalism to know what and when to take action. And in my theatre too, many things go wrong, but to the audience, they don't know.
I think the audience doesn't necessarily see the finer details that you experience, right? Because as long as they're in the ambience, having a good time, they're being entertained.
And that's the main thing. But there's millions of people I need to thank for all the behind-the-scenes stuff. It's not just a random man in green just entertaining.
Big support team.
It's massive support team from graphics to producers to musical directors, stage management. It's, you name it, they are there building the show.
Before you go on to a big show, I mean, something new, right? Of course, you've done it all before, so you're kind of used to it. But is there something you do which kind of gets you in the right headspace or puts you in the right frame to do something?
I absolutely love, and I will always take a good 15 minutes to sit and have my coffee before I go on stage and just watch my social media. Because people are getting so excited. They're in the theatre, they're tagging their children, they're doing videos, and me seeing that excitement of the children waiting in the theatre, get tagged in hundreds of videos from my audience, and that there's just building and building and building.
Yeah,
and building.
right.
And I will always take that moment to just watch my social media.
That's a great point, actually. I had a great public speaking coach. He used to say to me, one of the best ways to remove nerves before you speak on stage is to stop thinking about yourself. Like, you're not there for yourself, you're there for everyone else in front of you. And I think if you can reposition and reframe it to, what can I do to make this a great experience for them, and not worry about me, the nerves kind of go away, don't they?
Absolutely. And it really is such a confidence build watching these smiley faces. I can't wait to see him. Stay silly. Look where I am. I'm here. And it's if they're smiling that much before I come on, they're going to be disappointed when I do come on. But just how am I going to make my audience feel on their way out? And that's another thing. I get such a buzz that I won't just go off and party straight away. I do exactly the way I started.
Yeah.
I get to my dressing room and I watch all the stories and the Instagrams and reviews after the show. And that's my kind of, do you know what? They're happy, they're buzzing, they're singing the songs from the show more than what they were before. That's my job done.
I think a lot of your viewers, they're repeat viewers, right? They get long-term fans, probably have been here 10 years and seen you from the beginning, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're still rocking up at my shows, and you're
not deliberately, I just turn up and you're there.
Yeah.
But a lot of the families I speak to, they follow you from place to place and place. It's amazing, really, isn't it?
Yeah, got a few outside waiting in the canteen. And they heard I was here.
Oh, really? Yeah. The fans are just we had to lock the door so they don't come in.
I could have upped the security. You know what I mean?
So tell me about becoming a dad. You became a dad how many years ago?
You don't need the details of how I became a dad.
You've forgotten. That's what it is.
Oh, well, yeah.
I should have sent these questions to them as I know.
So how I became a dad.
You're probably good at improvising, so...
I am. So how I became a dad, so it all started...
You don't have to tell me that. Just tell me how...
Oh, I thought that's what you were asking me. All right, okay. No, we don't need those kind of details. All right, okay. All right. It'd be only about 30 seconds anyway of the podcast used. My magic wand is still, it's a special magic wand I have.
I've seen your magic wand.
Not the floppy one.
Oh, not the floppy one.
No,
okay.
yeah.
No, I've seen that one.
Can we edit?
We're gonna have to cut some of these videos in. No one's gonna understand.
No, it's all right. We're just talking about a magic wand.
Exactly.
Special magic wand.
Well,
you may have heard about the stork that drops off the baby.
Yeah.
I have a magic wand. What do you want?
There you go.
Yeah, blonde hair.
Did you manage to choose before you? And then it's just is it a magic circle thing? Or?
We can't tell you if you're not inside the special ring. Then nothing's happening.
That's it.
It's all about that magic circle.
It's just a magic circle.
It is. But you know what? Becoming a dad and being able to... I was lucky because it happened during COVID, We had to entertain ourselves somehow, didn't we? And I got fed up with cleaning the big paddling pool with boys. It's like, let's just do something else. And so when Archie came along, it was, without going into too much detail, it was quite a difficult time for me. I lost 3 of my grandparents within the same, month, and my grandparents were everything to me. And we had Archie, and then I was about to go on and do my Christmas tour, so I had all of this. Then I had to go on stage and be like, happy, and then go back and be a dad. So that time in my life, you see Magic Phil as such this happy, amazing character, but the real man behind it, the dad, at that point, not now, I'm absolutely, above and beyond, jolly in my own life as well. But that there was a point when it was becoming a dad, losing 3 of the most important people in my life, having the pressure of Hannah as well and what she went through with the pregnancy, and to go on stage in front of hundreds of people and be Magic Phil was such a massive stress. But doing that is what really made me realise this is why I'm doing it. And just having all those children and adults laughing. But then what made it more magical was going home to my own little boy.
Yeah.
And that there is just the real transport issues. Okay, I was just filling up myself here. That there's the real magic behind it. And I was lucky during COVID that I didn't have much work. Entertainment was all stopped. Shows were all stopped. That I really had some good quality time with Archie. I had a good year of that.
So it almost came at the right time then.
It did.
For you to then put all that energy into...
It did.
Yeah.
And that was just, that really made me focus on Archie. It really made it so special. It was... And it's such a different kind of love. All of these children in the UAE love Magic Phil, but for someone to actually love me for Daddy, that's the real magic, and that's what I absolutely love about being a dad. Is that somebody loves me, like as dad, you know.
Yeah.
Not without that cap, without the Magic Phil outfit, without this on, it's not like I'd walk around without this on anyway, But
I think you've articulated that brilliantly, and I think anyone who works with kids a lot experiences that to some degree, right? Obviously, you're in so much of a character which is out there to make people happy.
Yep.
That there's enormous pressure on you to make other people happy, and there's huge expectation of what you're like because they've seen it before and they want the same thing, and that's what they expect every single time. And no matter what you're going through behind the scenes, you got to show up and be that guy,
Absolutely.
that character, right? And so I can totally understand that, and I think that just adds to the pressure. It's not just performing on stage, it's putting everything aside and still being that person.
But it's great because Archie will see a picture of Magic Phil and he will say Magic Phil.
Oh, really?
He'll see a picture of Daddy
So he separates.
and he'll say Daddy. And it's kind of like that. He knows that it's just a bit, it's just crazy. He took a sticker into school today that he found in the car, Magic Phil sticker, which I gave you, which I'm a bit disappointed you're not wearing.
Yeah.
And he was saying, Magic Phil, I want to show my friends Magic Phil.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy because he loves coming to see the shows, but it's that whole splitting Daddy and Magic
How does it?
Phil.
Yeah, it's funny how he can actually separate that. I guess when you come home, you act in a very different way, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not allowed to come home in these clothes.
No.
The wife won't let me. So
your wife is like, right, we got to separate this.
Yeah.
That's work.
Yeah.
You come home and
I mean, they normally say women love a man in uniform, and I mean, this is my.
there you go.
So, but they don't seem to love.
What do you think, Swati?
There we go.
That face says it all, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. She's ready.
You're right, Swati.
I'm blushing now.
So then tell me about the books then, because you've obviously written 3 books now, right?
I have.
This is your latest one.
This is the latest one.
Snowman Without a Nose.
Snowman Without a Nose. That's right. Guess what it's about?
Snowman?
Yeah.
Without a nose.
Yes.
There you go.
How did he guess?
Been signed already?
It has.
And this is the sticker, right?
Devalued it now.
Shall I put the sticker on?
Yes, please.
Are these for my kids?
For the rest of the day. No, it's for you.
Are they?
You've got to leave it on. I want hourly selfies, please. Sent.
Look, I look like such a raving fan now, don't I?
Yes, I know.
Well, I've got a sticker for you as well.
That's the thumbnail there. There we go. Hourly selfies, please.
Hope that stays on.
Through you as well. It's not. Look at that.
No expenses spared on the old stickers, eh?
It's not. It's
You told me you sold 4,000 of these, so...
it's all that Botox. It's not sticky.
Hope that stays on. If it comes up,
Stop flexing. You're making it come off.
This is not even flexing. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's some
Too silky, isn't it?
Look at that.
Oh, the trousers are bad too, aren't they?
He's put his silk shirt on for me. Look at that.
Hold on.
And I'm used to the mums after.
There we go.
Really,
Look,
come on.
You might get more customers if you dress like this, I don't know.
Yeah, look, it's a Magic Mike now. Ba-dum-dum. Can you insert a ba-dum-dum there?
That's a classic Magic Film joke. That's a start.
That is a good one. I like that one. That's a
You're
start.
disappointed it's not Magic Mike up here.
Now
but
we've started.
once we start, we can't stop.
This is why I'm here, Let's get this Magic Mike body going. He's gonna show me how to do it. Apparently, a good guy.
I know a guy.
That's good. Let's do it then. Let's go. That's for a
So,
whole different podcast. Back to the book. That's what we were saying.
Back to the book, yeah. Why are you writing books?
So
Three now. That's a lot. It's a lot
Yeah,
of work.
so the first book was it was written on the back of a napkin, and it was about a dog that loves the colour blue. And I'm such a strong believer of following your dreams and making sure that you never, ever give up. And nothing is a silly idea. That's why I thought, how can I get this message through to children? And that's when I thought, well, the love of books. Make sure we have a good story, but with that message. And this was a silly dream of a dog that wanted to become blue. And he tried absolutely everything. He never gave up. And spoiler alert, he became blue. But then he realised he could be whatever he wanted to be. Today I was blue. Tomorrow I could be something new.
Right.
And it was just having that message throughout that story, which was a massive success. That book, amazing.
I remember it everywhere.
Second book,
Oh, really?
complete flop.
What was it called? Exactly.
The camel that loves red.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it was more about bullying. So it was a camel that went to London, and camels don't belong in London. So Pedro the pigeon was very much, you lumpy horse, get out. But that was just at the start of COVID. My tour got cancelled. The books just... And I don't think I've touched back on that stuff. They are still available and at Bookworm. They are still available in the bookshops, but it's just never been one that I had that passion build back up for. Yeah. Then I took quite a gap and started writing this one, which again is such a relatable thing. It's about self-belief, kindness, differences. Everyone, you imagine a snowman and you think a perfect snowman, top hat, scarf, and a carrot for a nose. Yeah. But there's many people around the world that look different, that are different, sound different, but they're all just as, kind and loving, deserve to be loved. So this is about a snowman that finds many different things to be his nose. He finds one that he loves, makes him unique, and he's happy. And he's happy, that's the way he is, and there's no such thing as perfect when it comes to beauty.
Yeah, right. Oh, brilliant message. And I think
apart from you, of course. I mean,
there you go. I knew there was a joke in there somewhere. We had 2 minutes of being too serious, I think. So,
and that's what I did. That's what I came with them. And now
the kids learn so well through stories. I mean, this is why after every class we tell a story.
Okay.
So there's 52 stories we tell them. 52 weeks.
Never told one of mine.
No, well, we can do that now, can't we? Now we got the book. We'll read one of these. But we do a story based on a value or a character trait, honor or courage or whatever, and children really listen to that, and their imaginations, they really pick up on things that way, and then they can reiterate a story because they've learned it. Whereas if we just tell a child courage is important, this is why. Yeah. You tell a child about the story about someone who found courage and they overcame a big problem, or as you're doing with the messages you've got in your books, I think it's really, really powerful.
And it's told through a show as well, so you actually meet the snowman, and you see all the props. There's a song as well. And they really relate to it. I'm just thinking, how long can I drag on a book about snowman? Because the tour is on until the end of February.
Can you? Could you have a mascot, a snowman mascot, who just comes with you on stage and doesn't have a nose?
I mean, could do. I mean, I've got the character. Yeah. It's one that I can actually hold, and it's brilliant.
Amazing.
Unless if you want to be the mascot.
No, but I've got a whole team who love doing that sort of stuff. So although I have been known to be involved as a mascot from time to time.
Well, there we go.
But I can't tell you when my events are. They are
special
sneaky events.
Special mascot.
Special mascot. Yeah. Secret mascot.
Well, you keep your snowballs away from my story times, okay? All right.
You don't have to worry about that. So here's something I'd like to talk about. Have you ever had any shows where you've had complaints? Because what I've always felt you've done is you've managed to get this perfect balance of there's like a bit of tension, right? Often I'll go to some of your shows and it's amazing what you get away with. And I think, because it's always like the kids are having a great time, but I feel like the kids only get about 30% of it, and 70% is for the parents, right? Yeah. So how do you find that balance with what you do for the parents, what you do for the kids, and has it ever got you in a bit of trouble?
So, I should call my lawyer if I can talk about some things. No, so I feel like I'm very good with reading my audience. So if I'm at brunch, especially when a few of the adults have had a few too many grape juices, if there's any left when you're there, I kind of know, I can feel the room. I'll always start with two of my favourite adult jokes. If they get a good roar of laughter and a good bit, then I know I'm on show number 2.
So there's a couple of testers in there.
Yeah, which are very just minor.
Yeah.
But
then it escalates quite quickly.
It does. Because if I've got a good crowd and I know that's the energy I'm going, I've gone on and just gone into autopilot before and just done a 30-minute show purely at the kids because the adults they're just not where I need them.
Yeah.
But then there's the opposite effect. Sometimes I'll have some, and it's always the grandmas, there'll be some crazy grandma that is completely giving it large, like all over, and I just go completely.
As in, you're the back and forth with them.
Yeah, so it's the back and forth with them. You've got the whole, I've seen you on Only Grands. You've got all of this kind of stuff going back and forth, but then sometimes you then hit a line with them that no matter what they've thrown at you and you've thrown at them, but then there'll always be something that someone else, it's never the grandma, but someone else in the audience are like,
too far.
Oh. And then that's when, or it could be silly little things. Like I always say, you might have heard me say it before, like I'll always say to a child that's just up and down and round and screaming so loud, I'll like, will you be quiet or I'll put you in the bin?
Yeah.
Completely I'm never going to put a child in a bin, of course not. And I'll always pick that child next, but it's that always funny line that gets such a great laugh. But I did actually have a lady complain about that line.
Really?
And I'm like, it does make me go home and think, is it because the kid was laughing, the kid was loving it, and he laughed at that joke, and I always say, I'm not going to put you in the bin. Bins are stinky.
You look at comedians and humour and all this sort of stuff, and you've got kind of far ends of the spectrum. People like Ricky Gervais who are just like, they're just words, people shouldn't get assaulted by them. And then you've got the other side who are just super cautious. And
it's
so you're kids a lot, aren't you? So
it's that Tom and Jerry thing. I call it Tom and Jerry thing. I don't. I've just made that up now. I'm going to start calling it the Tom and Jerry thing. I grew up watching Tom and Jerry. I watched Jerry set fire to cats. I watched Jerry hit Tom with a big hammer. I'd never do that because that is make-believe. That's cartoon, that's silly, that's funny, that's dangerous as well. I brush my teeth with a toilet brush. I comb my hair with a toilet plunger. All this silly stuff you see on stage, I play a trumpet with a rubber chicken. Kids relate to that being silly, that's make-believe, that's the Tom and Jerry method, which I'm going to copyright that before Warrior Academy take it. And that's it. And that's what I go away with making. Is it silly? Is it even when I did a danger scene in my Christmas tour last year, and it was an invisible arrow that popped balloons. So I had some balloons on the stage, and I had the bow, and then I had the invisible arrow that when you shot it, the balloon would go pop. You would have seen it if you came to my show, but you didn't.
I'll get free tickets after this.
Well, that's all right. We'll get a free scholarship for my boy. Oh, no, I like that idea.
Deal.
Witnesses, all right, okay. But yeah, it's that whole thing of, yes, you get complaints, but is it a real serious complaint? No. It's just somebody that is probably having a bad day.
And Dubai is such a diverse place as well. This is one of the things that's, I think it's really hard to find the balance as a spectator watching what you're doing. It's like you might have someone who's really conservative. You might have other people who, they've had a few drinks. It's like a completely diverse group, especially when you do it at the mall or something. It's a very different vibe to a brunch or something.
I'm very cautious with where I am.
Yeah, right.
In the Middle East. If I'm in another emirate, I'm very cautious with what I can get away with because it may just be a local crowd. Sometimes I've done shows where I've said nothing.
Really?
My show is so animated. I've performed in, like you, you go to the refugee camps, the orphanages and stuff where English may not even be any...
Little vocal cues and sounds, this sort of stuff.
But it's all those animation, take Mr. Bean, for instance. He is worldwide success, whether he's a cartoon, whether he's... And he just goes... And that's all he does. You're going to get some great screenshots from that, aren't you? And that's going to be a meme. And that's it. I remember doing shows when I went to Jordan in the refugee camps, and I learned a few Arabic words that would get me by. I learned some colours. I learned how to count to 3 and got everyone excitement. But my whole show was just done to music, and the kids were all loving it. It was colourful. It was, you can just do something wrong, like that one trick, without even saying anything. It was, whoa!
Yeah, right.
And the kids are loving it. And I think that's finding the balance there, like someone you might speak to from, say, a local guy here in Dubai compared to asking one of the British mums. You ask them about a Magic Phil show, and you probably get two completely different stories. It was amazing, the magic was great, and the kids enjoyed it. You ask them, oh God, the adults had a lovely time. But, you know, the mums were screaming, you know, and you know, the kids were loving it, and you'd get a complete different vibe from both of them. And if you ask my wife, she just says I'm rubbish.
Oh, really? Hasn't been to enough of your shows, has she?
No, she hasn't. No, she doesn't come. She doesn't come
She can
anymore.
play more often then.
Well, yeah, that's good. Yeah, maybe she will, but she doesn't come anymore. But that's married life.
There you go. Yeah, it's classic.
Cut that one out. That was a bit rude. Yeah, cut that one out.
No, we don't. We can't get anything actually. This is actually been our live streaming, aren't we? Yeah.
Oh, are we? Oh, lovely. Hello.
So I've got this theory that humour is actually one of the best techniques for self-defense. People sometimes say to me, what's the best form of self-defense? And they're expecting Muay Thai or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Krav Maga or whatever. And for me, having a sharp wit, I think, can de-escalate dangerous situations very, very well. I think.
So you're telling me if I go to get mugged, I just go, knock, knock?
Yeah, exactly. Off you go.
Yeah.
Well, most physical situations, they normally escalate from verbal to this to that, right?
Yes.
And someone who's very sharp-witted can actually de-escalate things quite easily.
Okay.
Bullying is a great example, right? Bullying, you can make a bully feel very silly for saying something to you with a sharp wit. You can put the pressure back on them. So in that group where they're trying to, oppress you and get power, they actually feel a bit awkward and silly for trying in the first place. And someone with a great sense of humor actually becomes a very, very difficult person to attack, verbally and therefore physically.
It takes you back to the hecklers. If I'm in a paid environment where people are paid to see me, you very rarely get a heckle because people are there and they've paid to see you. It's when you get brunch and somebody's nice and brave and think. So don't get me wrong, sometimes a heckle is funny. Sometimes it gets me laughing, but then I have to do a heckle put down. And that's what
you're pretty good at that, though. I've seen you do that a couple of times.
But they're never there to make a fool out of you. They just think, this is a good time. This is funny. Yeah, in your head. But they try it. I will never, ever put anyone down. I will never make them, I'll never pick on anything about appearance. I'll never, unless if they've been to Turkey for their dentures, then sometimes I do. But, they laugh about it anyway. I had someone the other day that had such an orange suntan. I said, I bet your farts smell like Wotsits. Gosh, I've not had Wotsits for a while. Have you ever had Wotsits?
Not for ages.
Well, you won't now.
No, yeah, I'm a bit off now.
But you know what? I would never say anything like that. It'll always be let's diverse from that comment you've just shot at me, and then I'll shoot again. They may come back, but that will be the last time they'll come back, because then that next one will be more of a put down, but it's just a bit of friendly banter. But if they were in for the attack, which I've never had someone shout at me as an attack as such, it's always been it's a funny moment, let's have a laugh. Never had anyone be offended that much that they need to shout at me. Yeah, right. Touch wood.
Well, I think that's
never happened. But I think the act is now so complete that I've had it all shouted at me. I've had it all shouted at me.
You develop quite thick skin.
Yeah.
I think you've got to, don't you? Yeah. If you're in the public eye and you're on the stage and you're putting yourself out there.
A bit like Shrek. I'm an onion, and onions have layers. 50 Shades of Green layers. And that is probably the worst Shrek impression.
Yeah, I didn't know what you were doing there, really.
Yeah, that was kind of Scottish.
Well, laughing to be polite.
I know, yeah.
So
you're not getting paid enough to listen to this, are you?
Well, something,
not getting paid at all, is Hey, the girl, come on. Get a VIP pack. Oh, can't cross my legs.
No, it must see the knees. No, we don't see the knees. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, now we've got to cut it.
Not wearing anything on the bottom half. No, I mean, it was socks and shoes. I'm wearing shorts. He said I had to.
Yeah, he had to. You should have seen what he was wearing a second ago. Had to change it, didn't we?
Well, there was nothing on the memo that said I couldn't wear
there was nothing on. That was.
It was green. It was on brand. It's all right.
So you had a bit of an incident recently. Hospital.
Yes, I
What
did.
happened there?
So, thanks for sending me a get well soon card.
Yeah. Well, I sent you a message, didn't I?
No?
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Your PA must have got back to me then.
On what?
Is that not you then, is it? Been
I
speaking
don't
to you
think
for
I've ever
weeks.
spoke to you direct. I've been speaking to your PA.
Oh, really?
Oh, our
They're
PA's
just
having a good chat.
Pretending to be each other.
They're pretending to be each other. Gosh, I wonder what they've been saying.
Yeah, God, yeah. Get well soon, apparently.
Don't even have your number, do I? I've got somebody's number. Saved it.
Probably not mine.
Random
Probably
guy.
asked for it, and I was like, I'll give him a different number.
Yeah, random guy at brunch. Yeah.
So
You're
what happened?
the guy that keeps sending me "Stay Silly" every 3
Yeah,
weeks,
exactly.
aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
So, oh gosh, that was a good. So when was that?
Didn't you fall off a stage or something? Quite a hardcore accident.
Rub it in. I've just recovered. Gosh, hit a man while he's
You're
down.
meant to be a professional. Come on.
Get your violin out. Come on. Need a bit of violin music for this.
You're fixed now, aren't you?
No, I mean, I
Oh,
think
really?
sat on me. What's one of these?
Still, I know, yeah. It's not.
Got a cushion.
I mean, they look good, but they're not very comfy, are they? You know.
I tell you,
We're doing this on a shoestring.
I'm going on with piles.
Big time Hollywood over here.
Could have got me a couch.
Well,
Rubber ring to sit on.
you'll need to have a couch after this, probably.
I know. Right? Need a massage. What are you doing after this? Can you do 2 for 1? Oh, okay. So, anyway, before we get deported, you're not going to complain, are you? That's all right. So I had an accident in Abu Dhabi where I was doing a routine in my theatre tour show where it was literally a little jump, no higher than this table, and I jumped, thought nothing of it, it was part of the act, and then I just froze. My whole back just started shooting pain, and I had a full song and dance number to finish my show, which I did. The show must go on. Sing better than that, don't worry. And
You can't.
He's never seen one of my shows. He's not bought a ticket. And I did it like a robot, but people knew something was up. I was
Really?
getting messages that night, and then my stage manager had to drive me home. I couldn't sit in the car. So my stage manager, Jean, drove me straight to A&E from Abu Dhabi. Says, I need to go to hospital. I am in absolute agony. Never felt pain like it. So I went for an X-ray and all this kind of stuff, a MRI scan and everything to check out my back and stuff. And they saw that a ligament was slightly out of place between my coccyx and pelvis floor and stuff. So then they were like, right, we're going to need to do those injection things in the back, the cortisone injections.
Oh, God, yeah.
Put you fully under and all this. And I'm like, gosh. And they're like, do you want 2 weeks off work? I'm like, when I'm on stage in 3 hours, so if you don't mind, just
Yeah,
get
right.
it done. And I'm back out on there on stage. And they were like, no, you're not. I'm like,
Did you?
Yeah. Of course I did.
So you went to general anaesthetic, then went back out on stage, or?
Yeah. But then I ended up back in hospital that night. Caused an abscess, didn't it?
Did it?
Yeah. So they were like, have you
What,
been...
the injections caused an abscess?
No, I think it was me going back on. No, I don't know. So
There was a wound in there which needed healing. You didn't give it
Yeah.
rest. And that
So
kind of-
I had a day of rest, and I just said to the wife, I says, I'm just going to sleep this off because I have to be on stage tomorrow night. It was press night. It was a big night, start of my tour. Have to be on stage. I cancelled my stuff for that weekend, like Christmas light switch-ons and all that kind of stuff. And I just slept for like 12 hours. Nobody could get a hold of me. My wife knew something was up.
Yeah.
As soon as she came home, I was there, laid in a puddle of sweat. I had a really high temperature and had to get an ambulance straight into hospital. Got to hospital. Then they did an ultrasound, which felt weird because the wife's the pregnant one. We're scanning the
They were
right
like,
person here.
sorry, sir, you're pregnant, sir.
Yeah. Then they found an abscess at the bottom of my spine. Then I had to get it drained. And yeah.
While you're awake? Or...
No. They put me fully under a
back
care.
again?
Back again. All this happening within 48 hours. And that next morning was the night of my press night. And I was just saying to the doctors, I have to go on stage. I'll go on with a walking stick if I have to. This night is the big opening night of my thing. But I already put a statement out. Messages were already coming in. People knew I was, in there. I had this drained, all bandaged up, and the surgeon said, rest. A week at least, rest. as a performer, hearing that and somebody that loves your job so much telling you that you can't be on stage, you can't be in the spotlight, is torture. Because that is, well, I'm not happy in bed. You know, it depends who I'm in with. Cut that out. The wife listens to this. I'm not happy sleeping. I'm not happy. You know, I'm happy on stage. That's my element. The spotlight's the audience. I just wanted to do it, and yeah, I went on. I did it, and they made an announcement before the show saying that, you know, I've just come out of hospital. It's going to be a bit more slower pace, but the show's going to happen and all this kind of stuff. Then I went back to hospital that night
Again,
because
third time.
all of my stuff opened up. Everything happened. And yeah, if that wasn't bad enough, my stage manager then fell down the stairs and had to get rushed to hospital that night.
God.
So we were both in the same cubicle.
Oh, really?
A&E.
Couldn't write that, could you?
No, you couldn't. Both had a show the next morning at 8 o'clock, bear in mind.
Did you then do that?
Of course we did. And then
Third time, still didn't learn the lesson.
the ambulance knew where I lived at that point, so it was all right. I had the ambulance on
Using
speed
them like a
dial.
taxi service,
Yeah.
right? Uber.
So Jean, bless her, she was battered and bruised, but luckily nothing broke in, and she was laid in that cubicle. I was laid getting my bandages all rebandaged up and sorted, and we both went back. Oh, my wife was livid, because my stage manager's my mother-in-law as well.
Oh, really?
Hannah was like, you can't go to work, Phil, you're not doing it. Just cancel the show. No one's going to mind. You have to. And yeah, I woke up and went to the theatre the next morning with Jean. And I saw her name ring me on the phone at like 8 o'clock when she woke up, and I was like, hello? Turn the sound level down there, sorry. You know, she was really that loud in real life as well. God, I hope you're not listening with headphones on. But it was, oh God, she was mad. Yeah, she was.
I bet.
But yeah, it was like, yeah, let's get this show on. And then,
You got a break after that, surely?
yeah, we both went back and just went to
Okay.
bed. Not together, because she was like the
Mother-in-law, you
mother-in-law.
don't-
Yeah, so it's, you know, it's...
That'd be weird. That'd be silly.
That would be silly, yeah.
That'd be really silly.
No, that would be really silly. Yeah.
Wow. So that's probably the most full-on accident you've had on a show.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't drastic that people knew something was up at that point, but it was something that happened that caused a lot of after stress and after pain, and it was just hard. It was just difficult running. But my main priority was making sure I was good for that main weekend in Dubai of shows. And you know what? A lot of agents and a lot of people were really supportive of things I had to cancel. There was one person that I'll never work with again, but we won't talk about that because
I think it's one of those situations where people, when you go through a crisis, people start to see you start to see their true colours.
Absolutely.
And also your fans. I think a lot of people, from what I've read, they've kind of written to you and shared, you know.
They were, and I even had fans and people that were saying, take rest.
Yeah.
You need to take
Cancel
rest.
it.
There's always going to be another show, and we will always be there. And that, to the fans, I absolutely love you from the heart of my bottom. You know, not from the bottom of my fart, from the fart of my heart. I always get that mixed up. From the fart of my bottom, from the bottom of my heart. There we
I've
go.
got to write these down.
You know, you've got to. And do you know what? That really means a lot to me. But there was one person that it was just, you know, it was funny because the venue the venue actually rang me and were really supportive. Anything you need, please take this time off, take this. But this one agent was messaging me whilst I was in hospital. I was saying, look, I need to just relax. I was like, yeah, but it's just an email, it's just a message, it's just this. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm seeing her true colours.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I can see what you mean. So what's the future? What's coming up? No more accidents, hopefully, but
No more
you've got
accidents,
the book tour
hopefully.
going on right now.
Got another baby on the way.
Okay.
Yeah, so that wasn't an accident.
No.
That was planned. Can't wait to meet her, little girl.
In...
Gosh, the wife's going to kill me.
You don't have to answer these questions, they're too tricky.
You've not asked me what my wife's called, so it's all right. That's a tricky question. June.
Soon.
Maybe July.
June? Soon?
Yeah, June. Soon, yeah. Might be July.
Okay.
Might be June. Who knows?
The summer.
Yeah.
Which over here is about 6 months
Yeah.
periods.
In the future, yeah. And it's due soon.
Very soon.
Yeah, very soon, yeah. Yeah. I might not be around if the wife's watched this before then.
No, exactly.
Can you release this after June? Is that all right?
Actually,
Or maybe after July. You know, it's going to take you that long to edit it. Gosh, sorry, love. Cancel your diary for the next week, you know.
You going to take some time off for that, or are you going to be...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So there'll be time off. I've got bookings and I've got stuff that I need to... So I've taken the month of June or July off.
Yeah.
And then one of the two.
One of them, yeah.
Yeah, because I want
Just so
to
you
be
can
there. I want to be
try out
around.
some sleep and be around. Yeah.
I want to be there, and even obviously now that I've got Archie as well, so it's just managing being around as a family, which again I absolutely love, and you know, love family time, and you know that's a precious time, and that's what I'm trying to get more of as well.
Yeah,
the wife's gonna love that bit. Keep that in.
Yeah, that could be the trailer.
Yeah, that could be the trailer. Yeah, good family time. I mean, I love spending time with my wife. Yeah. You know, she's just an incredible woman.
Well, she's got to be to put up with you, isn't she? If you think about it, God.
She'll like that.
Imagine all. Yeah, she'll like that. I got loads of jokes.
You are one.
So, I think we've in this chat got to know you quite a bit.
I think so, a bit too much, I think.
I mean, we can't use any of it. But,
yeah.
You know, I think we've learned a lot about the man behind Magic Film.
He's still there, is he?
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
That's all right.
Audio guy.
Yeah.
So where can we send everyone to get a copy of this, and where can everyone get in touch with you or find out more about what you're doing?
You can get a copy of the book at Bookworm.
Okay.
They have a store in the Meadows and at Umsaki, best bookshop in Dubai. They paid me to say that.
Yeah.
No, you can't have a cut, by the way. No, because you didn't say it. No.
They're really great.
I said it. Oh, no. You can have a book.
Okay, careful.
If you say Bookworm, then you might get some money. Oh, there we go. No, I'll put you in touch with them.
There we go.
Oh, right, look at that. Sebastian Bates said
we?
Bookworm. You know, I just said it again. That's another. You know, if we get 10 dirhams every time
I
we say
remember
it.
going to one of your shows, and you shouted out to the War Academy maybe 30 times. It was War Academy, War Academy, War Academy, War Academy.
You still owe me for that.
Yeah, the bill was going to be massive for that one, wasn't it?
That is going to be massive.
No one was really listening, though.
Did you get many sign-ups after that big shout-out?
I don't know.
No, come running over to your table?
It's all very confusing, actually.
Or did you just fake number them as well?
Yeah, exactly.
So some little man is just sat there getting all these Warrior Academy phone calls that's actually started a business now, and he's got 10 sign-ups from Family Brunch.
Yeah, well, it probably did happen, actually.
And, of course, you can see me at Family Brunch as well. So check out Family Brunch Dubai. That's a pay rise from them as well for mentioning them. And, you can get your books from Bookworm and just give me a follow. You know, I'm available on Instagram, Facebook, Tinder. You can't find me on Tinder. It's came off there a long time ago.
Yeah, you had to, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I had to, yeah.
It's getting,
you still on that?
Getting too many, wasn't it?
I know, these
too many.
All the months.
You couldn't keep up with that. And all
yeah, I know, yeah.
Bookings you were getting. Too much.
It's crazy, man. Pass them over to the PA as well.
Let's finish now, shall we?
Yeah, let's go.
Come on, then. Let's have a little arm wrestle.
Oh, no.
Let's have a little arm wrestle. I'll finish off, Swati. What do you reckon?
Let's see, we go. Arm wrestle to finish up. What's there a beat? Is that just for show?
Yeah, normally they're nice. Normally they're nice.
You could have sorted some water.
They put some fancy fizzy water in there, sometimes.
What's the water doing all the way over there? What if I needed a drink mid-podcast?
What do I call it?
You just have to get up and show off my knees.
Oh,
You know.
what are you doing with
You
this?
got to put your toes out as well, man. You get a foot.
You can see we're skimping on the budget here. There's faint bus of water.
No,
Right, here we go.
water in it.
Do you know how to do these?
Well,
Yeah. You do this in Durham, don't you?
yeah.
Right, which one are you going to look at? The middle one?
My eyes are here.
Blue steel.
This is serious, this. Are you ready? Oh! I thought I would go for the surpriser to
Sneaky, come on. Oh.
Just stop playing with me. Just put me down. Go on.
Go on.
God, what?
You got this.
Have you been lifting? Yes! And I didn't even sign up to any Warrior Academy program, and I managed.
Mention War Academy though.
I did.
There you go. Thank you, mate.
I'm sweating now. 50 Shades of Green here.
I I really hope you enjoyed today's Warrior Academy podcast episode. We're going to keep creating these episodes because I know that so many parents find them useful or get insights or get ideas about how to develop their child's character. But it all comes down to the 3 C's: confidence, conduct, and concentration. So if you want to get a deep insight into the levels of confidence your child has, the level of concentration they have, or the level of conduct they have, so that you can actually put a score next to it and then work towards increasing those scores like we do in the Warrior Academy, then I'd love to invite you to fill in the Breakthrough Area Assessment. It takes about 5 minutes of your time, and you will get a personalized PDF report on your child's 3 C's. To access the Breakthrough Area Assessment and find out your child's 3 C's score, all you need to do is go to www.breakthrougharea.com.